Finish him.
Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's talk Danny Garcia. Congratulations to him on his majority decision over Jose Benavidez Jr. You know, I saw the fight, honestly. I thought it should have been a unanimous decision victory by way of Danny Garcia. He's making his debut at 154, fighting a bigger opponent in Jose Benavidez Jr. Now, a couple things about this fight. I thought Danny boxed very well during this fight. He stuck to the game plan. Going to the body of Jose Benavidez, he did what he was supposed to do, right? He didn't do anything extra. But I feel like he probably could have done a little bit more, especially if you look at the 12th round, when he started putting those combinations together and started landing pretty easily on Benavidez's face. Benavidez, I mean, he didn't throw enough punches. He didn't do enough to win the fight. I mean, it's like he was just mocking Danny the whole fight, all while he's losing the fight, which made no sense to me. But again, we got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to Danny Garcia, because a lot happened, a lot was said on behalf of him in terms of who he wants to fight next, and just, you know, where his overall mental health is. So I have to salute Danny for bringing up the topic of mental health and, you know, mentioning that he was, you know, fighting, you know, depression and anxiety. You know, we can joke about that all day. I'm not going to get on him about it. But, you know, he was clearly going through some things. I really think those 3 losses that he took, Spence, Porter, and Thurman, I really think that did a lot to him and his just, you know, his just ability to stay sane, honestly. It's weighing heavy on him because in the post-fight interview, he made it a point to call out Keith Thurman for a rematch. But again, salute to Danny Garcia for bringing that up. I mean, you know, you think a fighter is exempt from feeling those types of things, especially when he makes all that money. It seems like he has a pretty good life, has a pretty good family, you know, very supportive father. His wife's very supportive. His extended family, they all seem to be really happy. But, you know, you never know what's going on from the outside looking in. So, again, salute to Danny Garcia for bringing up that topic. And, you know, more people should talk about it. And people should not be shunned when they bring up the topic of mental health. Now, I'm out of character at the moment, but in about 30 seconds, we're going to get back to it, okay? But, you know, again, Danny Garcia, it was a good win over Jose Benavidez Jr., but this is my thing. You're fighting at 154 now, and, you know, I just think about some of the other fighters. He called out Erislandy Lara. He said he wants to fight Erislandy Lara at 155. Okay, cool. Is something wrong with Erislandy Lara? Is he, I mean, he's kind of old. I haven't really been following him too closely. Did I miss something? Is he lost a step? Because I don't see why Danny Garcia will want to fight him, especially because Danny Garcia isn't one to you know, engage or be very forthcoming with his offense, and neither is Erislandy Lara. He's a very technical fighter who's going to save his punches for the right spots. So I wouldn't even see that being a very exciting fight. And with Lara being a much, well, he's a lot bigger than Danny is, pause. But I just don't see why he would want to make that fight. Well, anyway, and when it comes to calling out fighters, those are the 2 fighters that he called out. I know some of the announcers mention, what's the old man's name? I can't remember his name. But, you know, just looking at the list, like, he's not ready for, like, a Charlo or that tall boy that just beat up on Lubin, beat the living shit out of Lubin, man. Boy's face was swole up. But, you know, there's a little bit of controversy with them gloves. Shut up. Stop it. My dog's going crazy, but check this out. Danny Garcia, I mean, I don't know what the plan is at 154. I wasn't even aware that Lara had a title at 154. I'm assuming it's it's probably the WBA interim belt. That's just my guess, since Jamel holds all the belts at 154, and he wasn't too quick to call him out. Danny, we don't know how long your career is going to be at 154. So with him being 34 years old, he kind of gets to pick and choose his fights. So I don't think people should get too upset with him over that. He's fought a lot of good fighters. He's fought some great fighters. Took some losses. You know, overall, I think he will have a legacy in the sport of boxing. I really don't feel like clowning this guy too much. You know, because he showed us that he's a real person last night. with his post-fight interview. So again, I'm not going to harp on him. But as far as him being at 154 and beating some of those top names, I mean, I don't even think he could beat a Lubin, even after Lubin's face is still probably swollen from that ass whooping he took. But we'll see. We'll see what's in store for him at 154. Again, he's got options. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about what you guys thought about his fight with Jose Benavidez Jr., a guy who seemingly just didn't want to throw any punches. Like, he was just whacked, man. I don't know if that buckshot in his leg is still bothering him, but I mean, he didn't do nothing at all. Let me know what y'all think about Danny Garcia versus Erislandy Lara. I think Lara would beat him. And then the Keith Thurman rematch. Oh, that's what I want to talk about, the Keith Thurman rematch. My bad. So Danny Garcia did want to call out. He called out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is at a point in his career where he's probably not going to get any really big fights at 147. Of course, he attempted to get a fight with Terrence Crawford. That seemed to have fallen through, probably because of money. But Terrence Crawford is no longer being promoted by Top Rank, so that could change in the potential future. But we all know the next big fight is Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence has already gone on record saying he's not going to fight Keith Thurman. It's not going to happen. All the belts lie there, and so that's where all the big fights are. Keith Thurman seems to feel like he's not a gatekeeper, but Jerome Enos needs a fight. I don't think Keith will want to take that fight, but Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia, that makes a lot of sense for both fighters, especially with where they are in their career at the moment. So I wouldn't mind seeing Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia. Personally, I think Danny Garcia would probably beat Keith Thurman in the second fight. But it would be a good fight. I think we'd see Danny Garcia let his hands go a little bit more in that fight. Again, he was doing some really good body work on Benavidez Jr. So we'll see how he looks in his next fight, whether it's at 154, 147, or at a catchweight. I mean, Keith Thurman's not that big of a welterweight, so who knows how that'll go. But I feel like if he drops back down to fight Keith Thurman, he should probably just stay at 147. And, maybe he can get another fight with Porter or a rematch with Spence. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. At the end of the day, Danny Garcia's, he brings the money to the table. So that's one thing you can say about him. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe. I'm out.